We are so excited. Every Saturday I come on, there's all here at WPTP and in the Scenic City. And I'm just excited to be your host to talk about some of the things that we're doing in the community and what you can do to help join us in those efforts. And first of all, before I get started, I just want to give a moment of silence to the folks over in the Middle East, the crisis that's going on, and just ask God to intervene because this is not only affecting them, but it's affecting everybody around the world. It has all types of impacts and consequences that we will feel. And, definitely for the children who are being beheaded over there and women being raped. It's just so much going on. It's just, I can't even imagine. But still here over in the United States, we like to say that we're in the land of the free, but until everybody is free, then we're not free. So we have to stay prayed up for everybody, especially those countries that are still fighting for their freedom. And so we want to just give a minute of silence for those in the Middle East. All right, we're moving on. Let's talk about you and what's going on with you today. We have been on this journey, Alton Park Development Corporation, and yes, WPTP 100.1 is one of our most amazing projects because it allows us to communicate with you all around the world, and we're very excited about that. Why? Because unless we're here in this community, you may not know what's going on in this community. So my job is to keep you updated and abreast and also let you know what we're doing because we're doing some powerful things here in this community. One of the things of many is every year around this time, we have our Humanitarian Awards Gala. And that's where we recognize prominent or not prominent people, doesn't matter, who have given themselves selfishly for mankind. They have poured their hearts and their souls into making this place a better place to live. And we have some awesome, amazing folk that are being recognized this year. This is our 6th year anniversary. And kudos to all of those who we've honored in the past. They have made a profound difference into changing the trajectory of the lives of people that we serve in this community. And they would never toot their own horn. And that's why we're here, because people need to know the sacrifices that people make to make this city a better and safer place to live. And so I think I can probably say I've got permission from a couple of people to mention their names out of the 5 who will be honored. And one of them, of course, is Mr. Johnny Holloway. And you all know Mr. Johnny Holloway. He is a very well known pillar in the community for civil rights and civil rights activism. And he is being honored. And I'm so, so happy that he's getting his kudos because it's well overdue. And the things that he's done to make Chattanooga a better place for all people, it will be talked about that night. And he has an extensive bio. And I'm just, every time I think about it and look over the things that he's done, I think about, you know what, we're on the shoulders of people like that, because we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing had they not sacrificed and put their lives in harm's way so that everybody like us could have a better place to live. The other person is Mr. John Taylor, who is the owner of Taylor Funeral Home. And you all know him too. He is just the most beautiful person one would ever want to meet. And I'm so especially proud to have him recognized this year in this way, because he has done so much for people in this community. And I like to say he does a lot of burying, but at the same time, he does a lot of caring. And so I thank you, Mr. Holloway and Mr. Taylor, and there's several more. We've got, and we're going to be talking about them because this event is December the 16th. And with that, these honorees are honored by our city mayor with a proclamation for all the wonderful things that they've done to make the city of Chattanooga the city that it is. In some cases, they've gotten keys to the city. It depends on what the magnitude of their contributions are. So we're always working on that. And it comes with a night of, I think we like to call it first class event. It's a black tie event. So, yes, people have on their tuxedos or their best dressed attire. We have folks dressing in long dresses, short dresses, but at the least, they know that this event is one of Chattanooga's finest events, and it's going to be hosted here in Chattanooga Civic Center. We have a beautiful banquet hall. We are very, very, very proud of what we've been able to do to renovate this magnificent historical facility that was built in 1963. And so we are excited to be able to host this event in our very own. And so we will be contacting many of you to be a part of this event as we move forward. If we got some slides, we can kind of show you. I think this might have been last year's Humanitarian Award Banquet. Yes, you can see that we have a live band on the stage. We have our host that will host the event. We have, our PowerPoint presentations as we talk about what each one of these distinctly, I call them prominent individuals in our communities have done to make the lives better. And of course, it comes with gourmet food. So we are very excited that this year's event will be hosted here, and that we have one of the finest. And there's many, many fine restaurants and caterers in the country, in the city. And we like to thank Mr. Herman, the Herman's Restaurant, Mr. Rodney Billups, for being our caterer for this year. You all know that he has some of the best food, and there's some other folk, but we're just proud to know that he will be here. And your tickets for this event is going on sale first thing Monday. So you have all of this month, next month, get over the Thanksgiving turkey and start thinking about giving back. All these funds that we have will go to benefit the community that we serve. Some of the funds will also be utilized to complete some of the renovation projects that we have going on here at this event hall and this building. You know that we have 48,000 square feet to renovate. And I will always say this, thank you to the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners for giving us the funding. We call it our great seed money, because we were able to do magnificently good work with that, and all the folk that were involved with updating this building to the capacity that it is today. We thank all of you. We are especially proud of all the accomplishments that we as a board here at Alton Park Development Corporation have done over the past couple of years, even through COVID. We were still busy doing things in the community. We have great partnerships. We have partnership with the American Legion, and they are doing magnificent work in the community with our veterans. They are housed here in this historical building. They do great work with our children. They are working on our ball field for our little league baseball team. And so they just do so much. And I just want to give kudos to them because without organizations like that, our veterans may not have anywhere to turn to. So I thank them for what they do. And then also, we have other service organizations that we have partnered with, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority. Thank you for partnering with us to do goodwill in the community that we serve and outside of this community in Chattanooga and Hamilton County. We can't say that enough because without service organizations, there are many other sororities and fraternities and other groups that are doing great deeds. But we are partnering with these agencies and we are also partnering with other agencies as we begin to expand what we do in the community. So I like to just mention those two. And then Devin Cooper with Devin Cooper Studios, who will be bringing a big economic impact to this community. Um, Talked to him earlier today. He is an amazing man that is doing great things in the movie industry with 5 movies already completed and 2 of them going into distribution. So you'll be able to see some of his movies on Netflix and Tubi and some of the other networks, BT, and some of the other ones that are out there. We're just proud of him because he has brought his studio and all the things that he's doing in the movie industry to Chattanooga and the surrounding area. We'll have him back on the show. He was on our show 2 weeks ago talking about what he's doing to improve economic development for this community. And we've had or started a series of meetings with our leaders in the community to talk about what does that look like. And he did a powerful presentation to talk about in what areas will his studio have an economic impact. And one of those areas, of course, is in acting. There's many aspiring actresses and actors in our communities that up until this point in time, they've had to leave Chattanooga to go outside to seek employment opportunities or career opportunities. And now they have an opportunity to stay right here and be a part of one of the best national, international studios in the country. So I'm very proud of that. Hairstylists, wardrobe, all of these are makeup artists, backstage, engineering, all of these job opportunities will become available. And he's already hiring. He had one network event and he's already picked up some folk from that network event to be a part of what he's doing. Graphic designers, writers. He's wanting to also make us a part of his studio classes where if you want to be a producer, if you want to be a co-producer, any of those things, acting classes, all of these things will be made available through his studio. So we're very proud of that. We have many more meetings scheduled with other leaders. We sent out the call and we're setting up meetings so that we can make them aware of what's about to happen in Chattanooga. And I'm just really proud of that. You know, Chattanooga is a great place to live. We have some of the best, I call it terrain, and best outdoor activities of any place in the country. And you don't have to travel all the way to the West Coast or to Colorado or Florida. You've got the most beautiful landscape and outdoor surroundings right here. We've got the rivers, the beautiful mountains. And, you know, people come here a lot just to partake of the beauty of the natural scenery in Chattanooga. And I'm especially proud, especially when we can provide opportunities to folk that live here. We have often in the past talked about our young folk who have went to college and aspiring to have live the American dream, and they live here in Chattanooga and they want to come back home when they finish school to live their dream. And the opportunities not necessarily being here for all people. And so we're changing the trajectory when we allow or when we have people to bring their business to our community and say, hey, I've got a piece of what I want to provide for the Chattanooga citizens, and this is what it's going to do. So we have all kinds of young folk that are artists in all different industries, hair design, clothing design, modeling, music. I know we've got the hip hop summit going on. Kudos to Mr. Grammy for providing another area in our culture that we can expose artists and give them the opportunity to also show the world or showcase their skills and talents. We need that. I've always said that diversity makes a better place and a better environment for everyone. And so, to that, I would like to say that Chattanooga is on the move, and we are especially proud of the diversity that we are providing for our people. And we're going to reap the benefits from that. Whenever there's not diversity, there's always some type of confusion, or there's lack of income for a certain segment of the population. And you have this imbalance going on when it comes to health, education, and economic opportunities, housing. But when you bring diversity and you bring all of these different talents to the table, it's amazing what you're able to do and how you're able to make a place a better place to live for all people. And that's all we want at the end of the day. I like Mayor Kelly's, I guess you would call his slogan, a one Chattanooga, because that's what we're striving for, a one Chattanooga, a place where everybody has the same opportunity to thrive, and where there is opportunity for them to thrive. So I just like to say to that, we've got to keep doing more of that. We've got to keep doing more of that. We'll be talking with our County Mayor Want. Kudos to him for all the things that he's doing in our county, throughout our county, to make this place a better place to live. And more people are wanting to move to Chattanooga because of the opportunities, and we got to keep that going. And I just appreciate what our leaders are doing, at least what they're trying to do. Sometimes your best effort is not good enough, but we keep trying every day. I have the pleasure of growing up here in Chattanooga from a little girl living in the West Side Project, College Hill Courts, downtown Chattanooga, and making my way and not falling through the cracks because of opportunities that were provided for me as a little girl, all the way to the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, and ultimately my not necessarily my final destination, but my destination that led me to my career in dentistry, which is the University of Tennessee in Memphis. And so my journey has been one of those that has a lot of twists and turns, but nevertheless, those opportunities provided me a life that I could help other people. And I wanted to come back to Chattanooga. I wanted to come back and give back to my community and help other people. And that's why the Humanitarian Awards Banquet is so important, because we have people that have been here 10 years or more, pouring their life, pouring their soul, giving selfishly, never getting any type of thank yous, 9 out of 10. There's no thank yous in what you do when you do and give to human mankind. But what you get out of it is self-gratification. And in knowing that God is pleased with your work, and knowing that you have changed the trajectory of the lives of so many people like myself. Someone poured into me and changed the life of my trajectory. My mom, my dad, and all of those folks in the village that took a part, and that were outside my village, that took a part, that said, hey, this person wants to do better. This person wants to have, they want to do something with their life. Let's give this person, Elenora, an opportunity. And it was the difference of an opportunity and a door opening and not having an opportunity and a door closed that put me where I am today. And I'm so thankful for those humanitarians that poured into me then. And that's why we are giving thanks here with Alton Park Development Corporation. We're making sure that their great works don't go unnoticed, because we have so many folks like me that was born poor, like me, that wanted to make a difference, that wanted to break the poverty cycle, but didn't have the resources. I didn't go to some of the, I call it, private schools that we have. I went to public school. And, some people don't like public schools, but public schools is what you make of it. It is what you make of it. You take the good and you run with it. And where your deficiencies are, you take those deficiencies and you work on those deficiencies until you get it. I love that slogan. If you don't succeed the first time, try again. Where I am today was full of try again, because I didn't have that start that some folk had. But I wouldn't change my life for anything, because all of the trials and tribulations and starting over again, falling off and getting back on, falling off, getting back on, shaped me and shaped my character like you see it today. That's why I love everybody. That's why I understand everybody. That's why I'm not mad at anybody, because I understand that your life circumstances can create a situation in you, your character, and everything else that you may not have any control over. That's why it's important for all of us. If you made it a little bit or made it a lot, you grab the hand of someone who's trying and you pull them, or at least give them a hand up. I love that slogan. Not a handout. Sometimes you got to get a handout. I got a handout, but I had a lot of hand ups, but I had a lot of handouts. So I don't shoot the handouts, as long as when you're handing it out, the person that you're handing it to is also reaching up. They're trying to pull themselves up. That's where I think it makes a difference. And that's what I think we need to understand. You may have to let somebody live with you for a week or two or a month until they can get it together. But at least know that they have a plan. That's what I think we go wrong. Some people don't have a plan. But if people have a plan, or maybe you need to show, maybe you can be a coach. Maybe some people don't have a plan, but they kind of know what they want to do, but they don't have a plan. Help them with a plan. Help them get there. Show them. If you don't have the resources, you can always show them where the resources are. That's what we do here at Alton Park Development Corporation. Many people have come here needing help, and we've helped many people because they needed not only a hand up, but they needed a hand out just to get them through that trial that they were going through at that moment. And I like when the preacher said, when somebody come to you hungry and you say, well, let's pray. God is going to help you through that hunger spell. You're going to make it. But you got a kitchen full of food. Let's give the people the food first. Let's satisfy that hungry stomach. And then they can think a little bit. You need to give them a handout and then start doing the hand up. Let's think about that as we move forward. It's not so bad to give people handouts, but have a plan so that when you start giving them a hand up, they will move from the situation that they're in to a better situation. That's what it's all about. That's what God wants us to do. That's what he wants us to do. If he blesses you, it's not for you to hold on to. That's why I love these humanitarians. It's not for you to hold on to. It's for you to share and to make another person's life better. If I've changed one person's life, I feel great. But if I've helped 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, I feel better. The more the merrier. And so for 20 years, I taught in my school, sanctioned by the dentists in this community EW Professional Career Training Center. And I moved women for 20 years from welfare to work where they could make livable wages. And some of my students still call me, thanking me today for their life and how it changed their life and made it better for their children. And many of them are making great money. They're managers at these dentist offices. Some of them are just, they have soared to greater heights. And think about what you can do. It may not be training someone to be dental assistants or propelling people to greater heights to even inspire them to want to be a dentist or a hygienist. But what are you doing that you can help a person be something in the field that you are an expert in, that you can help them? Maybe you can, I don't know, maybe you know somebody. You know how they say it's not what you know, it's who you know. Maybe you know somebody. And this somebody you know can make a difference in someone else's life. Well, call that person up. Say, I've got XYZ here, and I think they have a lot of potential, but they need a little help. And you're the CEO of your company. You're the founder of your company. Is there a place where you can start this person? Many people have been helped that way. Many people have been helped that way. There are some folks that run into a little trouble with the law. And that's why Alton Park Development Corporation created the diversion program. There are many ways to help people that have a little issue where they don't have to spend time in jail, but they can spend time giving back to their community while they work, and make money. So giving back to your community is one way you can avoid the prison wall, while you get your life together and make money on the job. You see? And that's what we provide, a diversion to prevent you from going to prison, and while you can find employment and work, and then on your time away from your job, come here and work out your public service to mankind. That's what we do. I want to thank the board of Alton Park Development Corporation, all the folk who are involved every day with decision making. I always tell everybody I'm the president, but I don't have a vote in nothing. All I can do at most is try to convince them that this might be the right way to go. But ultimately, it's the board of the Alton Park Development Corporation that decides which way we move. And I'd like to thank my board members individually. We have Cassandra Wyman, who was our first vice president. We have Karen Rose, who was our second vice president. We have Justine Jones, who is our community outreach, and person that works with our event hall and all of our projects that we do here locally. We have Mr. James Gilliam, who works on our fundraiser committee, who's important with making sure that not only we seek and get the funds, but that our house is in order. I like to thank Miss Renee Ford for all that she does in the business sector with pulling the business partnerships together. It's so important that we have that entity that reaches out to the community sector and pull them in, because it's really important that the community stay together and work together collaboratively on projects that involve making our community a better place to live. So I thank her for what she does in that area. And then, of course, Megan Green for what she does to keep the books together on the finances. And of course, yes, we have an accountant that is an accountant that works with a nonprofit organization who has more than 20 years of experience that keeps our money and our books together. Without him, we might be in a little trouble. But thanks to him, our house is in order financially, and I thank him for that. And we have our legal experts on our board that also serves as a way for us to checkmate contracts and things of that nature to make sure we stay out of trouble. So we have a comprehensive team of people that are surrounding us every day that protects what God has blessed this community with. And I'm very fortunate to have these talented people with all these degrees. And not to say that not having degrees mean anything, but we have professional people on the board, business owners, folks with engineering degrees, degrees in social services, and just a plethora of different people with different backgrounds that make it a wonderful organization to be a part of. And thank you, Mr. Cynthia Cooper, um, for always being there for Alton Park Development Corporation. We know that she's coming all the way from Texas. So thank you so much. I see your comment. And Mr. Jimmy Allgood, thank you for chiming in. You all know he's one of our artists that we support wholeheartedly, 100%. He's doing great things. We have a big surprise for you all as a major record company who has a company with Songbird Foundation. I know you all have been downtown at the Chattanooga Choo Choo, where they have a strip of different organizations and foundations and restaurants. Well, this Songbird Foundation, they tour all over the country, and they take the stories of the people in different communities to the big screen. They will be here on November the 8th, and Mr. Jimmy Allgood is one of the artists that they're featuring. And they will also be promoting and featuring Alton Park Development Corporation as they stop here at our historical civic center and talk about the things that we're doing here and highlighting Chattanooga and the great things that Chattanooga has to offer for tourists. So I'm really looking forward to November the 8th. I was just on the phone with them yesterday, getting the itinerary together to present to our county mayor, Mr. Weston Wamp, and our city mayor, Mr. Tim Kelly, because he wants them to be able to chime in as he toured through the city. And also it's important that everybody know that Chattanooga got it together. We have our problems like all families. We're family, and we have our problems. But guess what? That's why it's important to work through your problems. And if there's some dysfunctional things going on, to get the help, and that sometimes requires outside help. Sometimes we have to go the legal route because we find ourselves in the middle of all types of issues that affect people differently. And but we're family. We're family here, and we love each other to the best of our abilities. We are culturally diverse, so we have different backgrounds and all of that. And sometimes we're strong on one issue and weak on another. But all in all, when you put all of us together, all of us are important. You know, you all know I was the president of a major organization for over 6 years, roughly 6 years. And it's important to have those checks and balances in any city, in any country. That's why I started off today with a moment of silence for the people in the Middle East who are at a war that's, could have a devastating effect, not only on their countries where they're fighting, but all around this United States of America and the world. They're saying we may have World War III as a result. Tensions are rising. So now we need God. We need God, and we need the prayer warriors to come into fold and start praying every night that God would intervene. But just make no mistake about it. God is in control of every situation. He wrote the book. He started the book in Genesis and ended it in Revelations. He knows everything in between. And so God is in control. And so if you know who you are and who you belong to, then they say you don't worry about it, because you know God has you protected in his bosom. And you know whether you here today or gone tomorrow, to be absent from the body is to be with Christ. And so you need to know that. You need to know that it doesn't matter what happens, I'm going to be with God, because that's a transition anyway. This is our temporary home. This is not our final destination. And so while we're here in our temporary home, God said, be in the world, but not of the world, because there's another destination, our final destination that we need to look forward to. And so while we're here in this world today, we need to stay prayed up. We need to know that God is running it. You're not running it. Middle East is not running it. The devil sure ain't running it. And so if you know that, then what is there to fear? There's nothing to fear because you're going to be all right. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right. Are you going to be all right? I'm all right. I'm all right. Because I know who I belong to. And I know when I leave here where I'm going. I know that for a fact. I talk to the man every day, and when I do something that I think I may have not should have done or should not have done, my conscience, I'm already saying, God, I'm sorry. Forgive me. Lord, wash my heart because we all are sinners and come short of the glory of God. Lest any man boast or brag or be so religious that they forget that. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. And you all be looking on Monday for Eventbrite to host or have tickets on sale. We have VIP tickets. We have the regular general tickets. We have tables. If you want to buy an ad, to give I call it a shout out to a family member or do it in memory. We have program booklets that you can do it in or give a salute to some of the folk in your family or cousins or friends or whatever you want to do, an anniversary, a birthday, a shout out, your business. There will be many people that will be able to see it. We have also, as a part of this humanitarian awards program, opportunities for you to put your ads and things, or I would like to say donate to WPTP Radio, and we'll put your promotion up for the world to see. So there's many opportunities, no matter where you live, to be a part of this. That's why I love WPTP. I love what we do. Our website is WPTP1001fm.com. If you want to listen to us anywhere, Lacithia, you're in Texas, you can listen to us right there in Texas. If you're in New York, California, if you're over the Middle East, if there's somewhere where there's an internet, you can hear us. Africa, doesn't matter where you are, you can hear us here. And you can also see us. See me? Hey, you can see us because not only are we on the radio, but we're on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook. We have a Facebook fan page. We love for you all to join our Facebook fan group. We're on Instagram and Twitter. We have a YouTube channel. Any of our programs that we have or have had, you can go back in our library and pull it up and watch it. It's there for you to watch. So if anybody's missing this right now, they can go back and watch me. It's going to be recorded and there for everybody to watch for decades or however long we're here. And I appreciate what our engineers do to make that happen. We have Mr. Robin Rose, who handles our boards that make sure we get on the air. And we also have Dr. Michael Slyman, who is very good at making sure that our social media platforms do what they're supposed to do. He operates this radio station when he's out of town. We're tuned in. We're on the cutting edge of technology. I always say when they had COVID, everybody was scrambling. What are we going to do? We can't meet. We can't see each other, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden we had this virtual thing. Oh, we don't have to get in our cars and go to a building anymore. Brick and mortar is that not necessarily the only way we can meet. We can actually do this, what we're doing now. You can be in your kitchen, in your bedroom and watch me. It's like there's another TV network. Hey, we're on TV. And you can see me. I can't see you, but you can see me. And so COVID COVID-19 forced us into another way of communicating. I used to think the Jetsons was crazy. Oh, there's no way you can see somebody, they're all the way in another country and they just show up in your living room, you know. It's virtual. It's here. Now they're talking about artificial intelligence. Somebody mimicking Dr. Woods. I don't know who want to mimic me, but get my voice and my image and everything and doing stuff with it that I don't know about. So being on the cutting edge of technology is where it's got to go. You've got to get yourself in line and in order and learn about this stuff because it's the way the world is going. I told you all this before. I was a keynote speaker at Hamlet Chapel to women and the young adults and the younger generation. And it was all about bridging the gap. And it was so important that I stressed where we are today versus where we were when I was coming up. It wasn't all this internet and social media. You had your TV. And for some people, it was only black and white TV. You didn't have all this stuff. You didn't have what they call transferring money, Cash App, and all this stuff, electronic banking. You had to go in the bank. You had to do all your stuff with paperwork. You had to sign your name in person on paper. You couldn't electronically send nothing. But now the younger generation, they're on the cutting edge of technology. They don't go in the bank. And one young lady, bless her heart, 15 years old, I'll never forget it. She raised her hand. She said, "What's a checkbook?" You see? They don't, some of them don't know what a checkbook because they never, and at the end, she said, "I want to know how to get a checkbook." She wanted to know what we're not on the cutting edge of technology with checkbooks anymore, but okay. I'll teach you how to do that. You got a bank account because you're doing Cash App. So let's talk about it. Your mama and you have a bank account together. Your mama probably knows, but people are using debit card. They ain't using no cash. They're not using paper checks anymore. They can keep up with their accounts better. So it is just so important that we all understand where we are in this world today. And God is in control. You think God is in control of that? Everybody was so like, oh, going off. They're cloning people. They're cloning this and cloning that. Oh Lord, that's not right. People are trying to take over God's, trying to be God. Only God can make humans. Only God can make animals, and only God. God is in control of everything. You got people that need a heart. You got people that are on a waiting list for a kidney and a liver. You know, they need their eyes. They need organs, vital organs to live. Now we took it to the next level. They started cloning human beings. I think, I don't know. I ain't seen a clone human being, but I think we can clone organs. I think out of that research and technology, God wants us, and this is me, this is my opinion. This ain't in the Bible necessarily, but God brings about knowledge and wisdom with every generation. It spooks the generations before. Because it's like, that can't be done. That's we shouldn't be doing that. Well, should we? You got people waiting on a kidney. You got people on dialysis every day. If they just had a kidney, they wouldn't have to do dialysis every day. If they just had a heart, they might not have to have all of these triple bypass and quadruple bypasses and still having congestive heart failure. They may not die because their liver is no longer any good. Think about it. Their pancreas, all these organs. And we tripping because we cloning. Maybe we cloning the wrong thing. I don't think God let us clone a human being anyway. But maybe we need to clone and understand the technology behind cloning and making organs. What y'all think about that? That's a thought. Just think about it. I ain't saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying that's my opinion. Just think about it. Maybe that's a subject we need to talk about in church too. Is it wrong to clone for organs? I don't know. Let's think about that. But we are at the last 10 minutes of our segment of what's happening in your neck of the woods. And I am going to tell you over the next few weeks, we're going to be bringing on some people to talk about what's going on in our community and what's happening in the housing industry. Have you all noticed that? It's apartments going up everywhere, everywhere. I mean, it's just like, oh my God, because there's a housing crisis. But still, right here on our property, we have people that are homeless. People that are homeless. So, what are we doing for the homeless people? How are we going to help them? How are we going to give them a hand up? How are we going to give them a hand out and pull them out of their situation? You know, do they need mental help? What is it? We need to figure that out. We need to figure that out. That's our job. That's our job. I love this year's theme. Human deeds for human needs. Human deeds for human needs. That's where we are right now. We need to be doing more deeds. And you don't have to be Rockefeller to help somebody. You don't. My aunties used to say, if I got a glass of water, you can have it too. If I got a piece of meat, I'll let you have that too. Or we can split it. I'm going to share whatever I got with you. I can eat less. I can drink less. If I got a bed, a couch, or well, they used to make pallets. They still make pallets. Something for you to lay on, you could stay here. What about the human deeds? Are we doing it anymore? You know, you got children that know children that need help. Are we helping? Are we disbanding the village now? Are we still trying to help other people doing human deeds? If you're in a service organization, are you servicing the people that really need you? Think about it. Are you really reaching out? Or do you have your clicks and you're only going to go so far and then you stop? Are you really a service organization? What are we really doing? If you're a church, are you going outside the walls of the church and helping? What are you doing? I'm going to do my part. I challenge all of you that are listening to me to do your part. You may not can do everything, but you can do something. You can do something. If it ain't nothing but share a piece of bread or give somebody a pallet to lay on the floor because they don't have a place to stay, and help them get where they need to go. Making a phone call to that CEO or that founder, that business owner. I'm going to be calling on you. I'm going to be calling on all of you to be there. Alton Park Development Corporation is a community development corporation that was formed in 1998. I was there. You know, we are we were a part of 3 entities, agencies that was responsible for cleaning up the air in this community. And I was at a meeting this week where they wanted to build a chicken farm near my house. The cleanest air, the cleanest water. And I had to speak to the council to not allow the chicken poultry or farm to be so close to civilization because of the toxic fumes. I remember when the city of Chattanooga was the nastiest, most polluted city in the country, according to Walter Cronkite, who declared that in 1965. And the massive cleanup effort, the super funds, all the millions of dollars that had to go into cleaning up the creek where these companies were dumping their toxic chemicals over in the creek where the fish swam, where people fished there and ate the fish that were mutated and had cancer as a result of eating the fish from the harmful chemicals that were dumped in our creeks. The creek that's right here beside our property, Chattanooga Creek. The creeks flow into lakes and rivers and flow into oceans, and we drink that water. It has to be purified. So we can't let companies move into a community for, I call it economic gain, and kill off the people that live there and pollute the air and pollute the water and pollute the soil and the ground water. Some people still use well water. But what about the soil when it rains and the rain then evaporates off the ground and all of those chemicals go back up in the air, and then when it rains again, it dumps those chemicals called acid rain back on the ground, back into the atmosphere where we breathe every day. You see, my background is biology and chemistry, and acid rain is hazardous to everybody's health. We have to keep our air as pure as possible. And I'm the one that'll call EPA. Done it before. You know, Vesicle plant was the big culprit in Alton Park, along with others. But that was one of the biggest culprits. We can't do anything for 100 years, we were told. They may have changed that. But for 100 years to let those chemicals that were polluted in that soil, on that land, dissipate. 100 years. That's the kind of damage that happens in a community when you don't pay attention to what's going on. So I thank all the folks that were involved with Alton Park back then and making this city great again, as I say, making the air smell better, making the water fresher and cleaner, the soil better, and the people that suffered from emphysema and COPD and cancer and all the sacrifices that were made with their life. We're not going to let that happen again. And that's what I testified to this week. I'm still doing my community activism. I am still the person that will step to it. I've gotten older and wiser, and I know how to step, and I will step. But anyway, we got 3 minutes left. So I'm going to say, today is Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday, and we need to go to church and give the Lord's praise and thank him for all the blessings that he has given us. And if you don't have a way to go to church or you can't get out the bed, thanks be to glory to God with this virtual ability to tap into your church or go to church from your bedroom and your kitchen, you can still attend church. But if you're looking for a church home and you don't know where to go, you're always invited to Greater Emmanuel Apostolic Church, located at 400 Tunnel Boulevard, where the pastor Paul Warfield Jr. is our pastor. And we get down at Greater Emmanuel. You all know we do. And we go outside the walls there and reach the community. And we thank our leadership there for what they've done in East Chattanooga and outside of Chattanooga. And I love my church, but most importantly, I love God and I love you. So until next week, you all be blessed and enjoy this wonderful weather. We're having beautiful weather now. It's not too hot, not too cold. You all enjoy the weather and be blessed. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week on what's happening in your neck of the woods with yours truly, Dr. Elenora Woods, your host. Thank you.